Unfortunately, I wasn't recording it until right up just till now. But you guys should go watch Sonic Boom. Because even though the first game was garbage and the second one was just okay, the show is the best Sonic show of all of them. Hands down.
It was. Also, you guys would not believe the conversation we had before.
And they will never
All right,
know.
you know what? You know what? No, you know what? I'm going to tell them.
Okay.
Hyperborean bodybuilder elf waifu.
And you know what?
And we both nodded and said, yes.
Approved.
Approved. So, yes.
So
and with that in mind,
we return to OmOneko, and
indeed,
despite the meme nature, I do want to start with a little bit of a tribute. You see, this past week, my little kitty, Miss Lila, has gone on ahead of me. She apparently was given the diagnosis of feline leukemia, which is an autoimmune condition. She had cancer in her left eye, and she had a respiratory condition that would not clear up. And so I was forced to make the difficult decision to let her go rather than prolong what would have been maybe a year of misery. And behind her remain I and Sir Dash. It's been a very difficult week, and I knew that I needed to continue OmOneko because I know for a fact that she would watch from a safe distance, and she would watch me play games and talk to my bros, and Lila would want me to keep being me, and that's important. You get a limited amount of time in this world, and those around you who care about you and love you and want what's best for you are there with you. And I know it's not always easy to see that. Believe me, I have all people know full well how easy it is to miss the forest for the trees. But both for those who are here, those who have gone on ahead, and those we've yet to encounter, you should always press on and do your best and know that in your heart of hearts, you did the right thing when you were given a very difficult choice.
yes. In fact, if anything, what you should do, pause the video, go to your loved ones, give them a big hug, and then come back to this video.
It's okay, we'll wait. Just, go ahead. You can pause it. It's
Not like we're doing anything. It's okay. We're just going to be here.
We're very glad that you've returned after definitely doing what we instructed you to do.
Yes.
We are back on the route of the pepper, which, as
Sure, there's a lot of Claudia.
yeah, this is a very Claudia-centric story for being Pepper's path, but I'm curious because it does seem like the story is very different this time. Instead of focusing on Shimi as she grows more accustomed to semi-domestication, it's more like this is kind of focusing a lot on Pepper and Claudia's relationship, which only really got touched upon a little bit prior to Shimi's arrival. We both clean the counter of the unusable parts of the garlic, scallions, and other ingredients. When Claudia goes to hand me a large spoon, she's surprised that instead of taking it from her, I nod over at the stove. Go ahead, you stir the sauces.
Oh, she's so happy.
Yep, stir one and then the other. Not too fast, but you want to move everything around. Make sure the spoon touches the bottom and sides of the pot. Good, just like that. Still some left? Oh, the last third of the sauce. We'll make a lasagna with that last third, or maybe our famous eggplant parmesan. Like it. A lot of people don't like eggplant, but I do, and that's what matters. MC,
no,
this is where you and I diverge. I don't really care for eggplant, I'll be honest.
Wow. Professor?
Yep.
You know what? I feel like we need to have the Predator handshake right now. It's like, Snek, Itaku, not liking eggplant?
like, Dude, it has this weird, unpleasant taste and texture to it. I'm just like, and
Bro, you are not saying anything I don't agree with. I actually had to have a conversation about this with one of my coworkers who was like, you don't like eggplant? I'm like, I have never liked eggplant. Every single time I try, and I'm like, maybe it's just the recipe, maybe it's the presentation, and it's like, no, I just don't like eggplant.
It's just not good. Like, I get it. Like,
No.
I mean, I'll tell you an interesting fact about the eggplant. By definition, it's a berry.
Oh, here I was thinking that, most people just know it as, le funny male anatomy.
I mean,
euphemism.
there's that. There's that, certainly. There's the memes right themselves. But yeah, like, it's technically a berry. It technically meets the prerequisites to be a berry, and strawberries do not.
Well, I mean, technically speaking, tomatoes are actually fruit.
Yep.
But, everyone knows them as a culinary vegetable. So.
Yeah. Also a berry. You know what else? Cucumbers are berries. VeggieTales? You're being narrated by a bunch of fruits who are pretending to be vegetables. It's all in your head.
A bunch of fruit are giving me Christian advice. Whoa, my God, whoa!
You will never see things the same way again. I reply with a smug grin. The best part is that eggplant parm and lasagna freeze well. We'll make a dish and freeze it. Then there'll be a meal all ready to go into the oven when I'm too lazy to cook.
Which is to say, all the time, because I'm just too lazy anyway.
Constantly. My admission of planned laziness clearly amuses Claudia. Her polite attempt to stifle a laugh makes me chuckle and shrug. What? It's a great plan.
This is like your older sister who's known you since you were a small child.
Yeah.
And yet you're like, I'm too lazy. And she's like, yeah, I know.
I'm aware. Shimi doesn't show up the whole time we're in the kitchen. Without her or Pepper around, Claudia and I continue to chat, all the while stirring and seasoning our sauces. My mood is worry-free and greatly improved when we sit to eat. The pasta, homemade sauce with sprung onions, and garlic toast comes out quite nice. There's nothing quite like the smell of fresh pasta sauce. This may not be the best I've ever made, but it's still very good. Claudia seems quite content with it, and Pepper shows out her approval with a loud burp. And after dinner, Pepper disappears. Claudia does the dishes while I prepare half the leftover sauce for tomorrow's meatballs, and the other half for a dish that will later go into the freezer. Just as we finish up, Pepper reappears with her book for her promised story time. I'm about to start reading when Shimi also decides to join us. After making a slow beeline to the corner of the room, she stares hard at the curtains that hide her stash. Finally, she settles near Claudia. Let's go! More fun! Sin kitty! This one! Pepper bounces on the sofa. Alright, hold your horses. More like, hold your Nekos.
In a world. Daytime, dirty rats are nocturnal, so it's quiet around town. I hate it, but at least it gives me a chance to catch up on sleep. Really, it's just a pause in the action. Kit, wake up. We're almost at the job.
Yeah.
I'm a kitty cat. Meow, meow, meow. Sorry to disturb your beauty rest. I knew you need all you can get. Yeah. Asshole. These are the things that I do for Snek. This is Itaku speaking, not Sin Kitty. It's a completely different character. I hate being woken up, but for some reason, when he does it, I don't mind it so much. Wow, tsundere much. Once again, this is Itaku.
All cats
Damn
are
it,
tsundere.
I was having a nice dream. He doesn't need to know the dream was about him. Oh my. He definitely doesn't need to know, but frequently come together. Oh my. I don't even know why. He's nothing special. Showtime. I'll send them your way. Just a coworker.
Wait, hold on. Is that him speaking?
No, that's Kit is narrating, and he was the one saying Showtime.
Just a coworker, just a sidekick, just someone I like being with, Doki Doki. Although I guess maybe it's nothing, maybe it's not just like that. Maybe it's something about him.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Bloody nerds. There's no time for this. Not when Rat Bastard's still out there. Rat Bastard. Rat Bastard, when I get my claws on you, I'll show you how to have a good time. It'll be the best time of your best night of your life. It'll be the last night of your life. It'll be the...
Oh wow. I was just... okay. Confession, I didn't actually read that. That was just me improvising.
And yet
what the hell? Getting by you. Let's go. Work.
Woof, woof, woof. Barf, barf, barf.
Okie dokie, Chief. Yeah, I got it, boss. Shit, I'd let myself get distracted by my weird, strangely hot, schlubby nerd. I can't do that. The perils of having more than one man in your life. Dokie dokie.
That's right, children. You should only have one man in your life.
Krakow.
If you have any brothers, you need to destroy them immediately.
I can't let him know that I'm distracted. Especially, I can't let him know why I'm distracted. Workplace romances are always doomed anyway. No.
I'm sorry.
Nice work today, Cat. Glad you're so good at this. Of course I'm fucking good.
Hold on, I'm sorry.
Of course I'm fucking good. They're just rats, and I'm just the cat. Don't think anything more than that.
Why is your voice so strangely deep?
Nothing.
No reason.
His hand on your shoulder. Don't think about how he makes you feel normal, or the itch that isn't so bad with him.
Oh my.
Okie dokie, Chief. I like tastes like these. Enjoy them while you can. We know they can't last. Rat bastard. I'm the cat. I'm gonna break somebody's spine tonight. Did somebody call for a chiropractor?
In an odd turn, the Sin Kitty episode that Pepper demanded I read lacks the abject violence and gratuitous nudity I'd expect from story time.
Boring!
There's none of our dour anti-heroine dispensing her branded form of shovel justice to a pack of dirty rats. It has a bit of a dark theme, but it's surprisingly tame.
Boring! This is not what I signed up for. I wanted hyper-violent, hyper-sexualization.
Just a story about Kit and Kick at their normal work. I'm tempted to say this feels like a slice of life episode. Well, a slice of life as Sin Kitty all a game can get, anyway. I hope there isn't a Sin Kitty Beach episode in here. That would be just so very wrong.
Dokie dokie, I hope that Kit notices my thong bikini that I have.
Anyway, as I finish the chapter, Pepper is clearly pleased. Thanks! Taking her book and closing it with a thump, she quickly skips off to bed. Now I just owe her bounce and a backyard picnic. Claudia hesitates and thanks me and heads to bed as well. I meant to thank her for helping in the kitchen. I'm so used to her being there all the time, I just assume she knows. Still, it wouldn't hurt to tell her, really thank her. Next time for sure. Shimi just stares. Did you like the story? I expect no answer, and yet I find myself somewhat disappointed when she doesn't respond. Not that Shimi could follow the story, but instead of giving me her focus and attention, she seems preoccupied. Do ferals get preoccupied? Shimi slowly rises and makes her way to the short distance of the window. Something out there seems to grab her attention. And as she listens at the glass, I reflexively listen too. There's nothing unusual about her reacting to some faraway sound. She does this all the time. I even noticed her doing it while reading Pepper's book. But since she came out tonight, it's as if every few moments something out there brings up her guard. Is there something close? Maybe right outside? For several moments we both attuned to the world on the other side of the window, but whatever out there is keeping her attention, it's nothing I can detect. Then Shimi drops her gaze at the bottom of the curtains, brooding over her stash. You missed dinner. Does Shimi want to eat? Does Shimi eat? Shimi food? Not sure why I'm talking to Shimi like she's a developmentally delayed raccoon. I ask again, this time sounding less like I'm talking to a drunk squirrel in the park. If you're hungry, Shimi, I mean Claudia and I made dinner. Noodles, there's some there for you. My voice finally breaks through to her, and the Wildcat steps towards me, then stops, almost as if she'd forgotten I was sitting here. Even looking right at me, there's something far away about her gaze.
You know, the funny thing is that actual cats would be able to understand you better than MC Coon is like letting on for this human cat.
Yeah, there is that. Not feral, something else. Shimi closes her eyes and gives her head a quick shake. She limps unsteadily down the hallway. I hear her closet door slide shut. What can I say? You got an adventurous nature. Oh, I hadn't noticed. That's because you haven't asked me on any adventures. I don't know why, but recently there are nights when I just can't sleep no matter how tired I am. Tonight is again one of those. Bored of just lying here, I surf on my phone for a while. I poke around the kitchen, but I'm not actually hungry, and none of the options tempt my appetite. With nothing to do but stay up, I catch the end of the late movie. Then I watch the late movie. The so late it's now early movie starts with a group of teenage girls having a slumber party. The plot has them doing each other's hair, makeup, nails, generally having a great time while waiting for the low-budget monster to appear and spoil everything. Fortunately,
All right,
I
Professor.
fall asleep before that happens.
I was gonna say, all right, Professor, gun to your head time, pop quiz mode. All right, what's your favorite B movie? So bad it's good, schlocky science fiction horror movie.
I'm gonna say it's not exactly the most hipster of choices, as the movie has actually gained a bit of a cult following in recent years. But I really do have to hand it to Plan 9 from Outer Space.
That's a good one.
It is good.
It's
fun.
really, really bad. Also,
it is.
It's also, I would argue, important, if only for the fact that it's, if I recall correctly, it's Bela Lugosi's last credited film role.
It is. Now, his shots were basically just some stock footage that they shot before the movie, but by and large, yes, it was the last film that he was a part of. And actually, at its heart, there is a, pretty sound anti-war message trying to be conveyed. Just, it's being conveyed in a really dumb, goofy way. So, yeah. Fortunately, I fall asleep before that happens. When I wake up, I know I dreamed. What's that?
Oh, you're not even going to ask me mine? Okay, fine.
Okay, Ditaku. You want to talk about B movies? What one would you crown
for me?
The king?
Ghidorah, King of the Ghidorah,
three-headed monster.
Yes, Ghidorah, the three-headed monster.
That is an excellent choice.
Yes, and it's. If I recall correctly, it's not the one, but I'm pretty sure it's basically one of the first ones where Godzilla went from being basically a walking natural disaster to he's actually a superhero. And so everyone's like, yeah, it's Godzilla. So,
yep.
Also, I mean, Ghidorah is really, really freaking strong in that one. He bodies pretty much everybody.
Yeah, he's ridiculously strong. And for those all watching, a fun bit of trivia. The telephone in Ultraman 1966 uses Ghidorah's roar for its ringer.
Yeah, there's a lot of Toho little SFX just because Tsuburaya was the one that did it for much of the Showa era.
Yeah.
So they had permission to do that.
When I wake up, I know I dreamed something. I just can't remember what. Still, after my morning rituals, I move like a man with a mission. Pepper's in her room, sitting at the desk. Database, living in the database.
No one's gonna get that.
No.
No one is gonna get that. That's sad.
Pepper's in her room, sitting at the desk and paging through a picture book. She briefly acknowledges my presence, but since I'm clearly here for something that is not her, she mostly ignores me. Inside the closet is the toolbox Mom left behind. Besides the hammer, there are screwdrivers, a couple of different wrenches, and the one tool I hope I'd find, a metal file. Claudia has her own file, but I don't know where she keeps it. It would obviously be in her dresser, but I'm not going to go through her stuff.
No, you're not actually going to plan on giving this to one of the Nekos as a nail file.
I find Claudia watering the plants and don't wait for...
A hardware file is like much coarser grain. That would like tear your fingernails off.
Yeah. Unless Neko fingernails are like superhumanly tough or something, which is terrifying to think about.
Okay. Considering that Nekos are supposedly significantly strong, are much more strong than humans are, there is the potential for this, I could say.
Right.
Also, the fact that like Pepper and Claudia, the way they act seems to be that they could, on some level, fight the giant horse-sized rats just with their claws.
Yeah.
Which would suggest to me that they're actually fairly hardy. So
that checks out.
I could see that. I don't know. That just still doesn't sit well with me. If that makes any sense.
I find Claudia watering the plants and don't wait for her to notice me before sitting on the sofa and calling out to her. All right, Claus, bring your claws over here. Seeing the metal file, Claudia looks at her nails and then hides her hands behind her back. Really? What? Are you a kitten again? She instantly blushes. I also get a shrug and a small smile. Look, if you're not going to keep up with this part of your grooming, then I'm going to have to. What would Mom say if she saw sweet claws becoming sharp claws? So, wait, his mom had to use the metal file? They really do have, like, super strong nails, then. Claudia lowers her head at my teasing as she joins me on the sofa. I'm actually very curious about why she hasn't done this herself. Back to wondering if something's going on with her.
Because, MC-kun, her intent to kill is increasing.
I know you can.
This is now Claudia Kira. Serial, Ziller.
I don't plan on starting any fights, but if I were to get into one, I would never lose.
I am Claudia. I am 31 years old.
I know you can, but you didn't, so I'm gonna. When I take her hand, she stiffens slightly as I gently position the file on the sharp fingernail of her index finger. I distract her with conversation while slowly dragging the file across the edge of her nail. I know that's not supposed to sound awful, but it kind of does. Is there a reason you haven't done them for a while? Forgot. Distracted. Yeah. I wait to see if she'll elaborate, but she doesn't. Not wanting to push her, I just say, well, that happens to everyone, I guess. Neko fingernails are made of much stronger stuff than human nails, so a regular nail file is all but useless.
Okay, there we go.
We're getting into it. Even though strong, sharp nails are no match for the metal file, so I quickly finish one finger and move to the next. Claudia's hand relaxes in mine. I remember the first time Mom filed your nails. Hid. Kinda. You really didn't pick a good hiding spot. Plus, we saw you duck into the closet. It's not really hiding if you come right out when Mom calls your name.
Oh,
that's adorable.
Cute, actually.
Claudia's cheeks flush as she smiles.
You was expecting that she was gonna hide somewhere, and you could like
her tail
hide
was
behind
like hanging out.
No, like that thing that kids do where they try to do Looney Tunes thing where they like hide behind a lamp, and you can clearly see them behind the lamp.
Yeah,
and they're like, "No, you can't see me because I can't see you." It's like, oh, is that how that works? Okay.
She shrugs. Had to, Mom said. That's true. We both always did whatever Mom commanded. I say that last part with only the slightest dramatic flourish. Mom was never one to put up with disagreement. Claudia just smiles. After that, you always did
Mom
your
had
own
the
nails.
chunkle after all. You don't mess with Mom when she's got the chunkle.
Always. Mom. I quickly bury thoughts of Mom's coming visit. Tell me, after I moved out, how was everything? Did anything change between you and Mom? She knits her brow. Change. Yeah, did she give you any more responsibilities? Any different routines? Was everything the same, just without me? Claudia considers her answer. As I move into another fingernail, she finally replies, missed you. Oh, yeah.
Aww.
It must have been a bit of an empty nest for both Mom and Claudia with just the two of them after I left. Regardless, Claudia doesn't indicate that anything substantial changed while I was gone. Claudia didn't even move into my room, something I expected would happen right away. But she stayed on her couch in the sunroom like the creature of habit that she is. More memories surface. Hey, do you remember the time with the wasp nest? We didn't mean to. She interrupts and pulls her hand away. At first I panic that I hurt her with the file, but the look of worry across her brow makes it clear she's reacting to the memory. Look, I wasn't mad then, and I'm not mad now. I smile and make a dismissive motion with the file near the thin scar on my jaw before taking her hand again and moving on to the next fingernail. It was my fault anyway. All you did was try to break my fall. Then both stung. That's why I remembered. It wasn't funny at the time, but it kind of is now. Those wasps were mad. Not as mad as Mom would have been if she had found out, though. We share the kind of grin that only people who have a secret can make. A grin that says, remember how lucky we were that we got away with that? I have no idea why I thought my plan to put the shopping bag around the nest was going to work. So dumb. Guess falling out of that tree was where I got my fear of heights. Claudia gets serious again. Lied to Mom. Yeah. That was the first time I really lied to Mom about anything that mattered. I told her I hurt myself because I tripped running from the wasp, which in a way was partly true, sort of. I left out the part about climbing the tree and trying to trap the nest with a shopping bag. I had to, though. I also left out the other part, when I fell and Claudia tried to catch me. I'm just glad she didn't get hurt. Like you said, it was an accident, and accidents happen. I almost add it's what makes us human, forgetting momentarily that only one of us is. I work in silence for a moment as Claudia relaxes again.
Perhaps it depends on your definition of human, whether or not human is the species or whether or not human is referring to a cognizant, intelligent creature. Not argue that Claudia is.
That's very true. She seems smart even as Nekos go.
Yes.
We have a lot of history, don't we, Sweet Claus? Yeah. Shy smile surfaces on her lips. Memories together, it's nice. I agree, they are all very nice memories. Once I'm finished with the last fingernail on one hand, Claudia offers me the other. I take it in mind and start working on her first finger. This feels like a good opportunity to finally say the words she already knows. People think that living with a Neko is pretty weird. You know that I worry about people finding out I'm a Neko guy, but I'm very happy that we live together. Claudia's hand slightly stiffens in mine again, but this time it's much more a reflection of the smile she makes. I move on to the next nail. I'm serious. If you weren't here, this place would fall apart. Her eyes stays on her hands as I gingerly work the file, though she quietly hums through a contented smile. A short time later, to the music of Claudia humming her made-up tune, all 10 of her nails are back under control. Look at that, all domesticated once again and ready for you to give him a fresh coat of polish. Claudia just smiles at me. There appears to be both gratitude for my efforts and slight embarrassment that she didn't do this herself. I grin and tease. Now, don't let me catch you letting your nails get all feral again, and next time I'll do your toes, too. Seems like Claudia wants to say something. Thanks for the manicure.
Kuhn's like, oh man, I sure do want to go to Brazil.
There's something I still want to say, or actually something I still want to ask her. I didn't realize.
Okay, I was debating whether or not that was actually the VVVV or if that was like laughter.
Yeah,
that just goes to show you how many Japanese videos I've seen lately.
Yeah. I didn't realize how delicate my mood was. Seeing a text on Mia as I hammered at a glass, instantly shattering my calm and leaving me feeling jagged and broken. My emotions, now shards, grind coldly together.
Good Lord, MC Kuhn, that was way overly poetic.
Yeah. Without even reading her message, I hit ignore. There's nothing she could say that I'd be interested in hearing right now, or ever. Just block her, bro! Mia. Maybe it's the harsh shift in my mood, or the way I dropped the phone back onto the small table. Or maybe it's because there are so few people in my life that message me, and only one of them makes me angry. Or possibly Claudia can just read me that easily. Regardless, figuring out that Mia sent a text is accompanied by her own concern that she doesn't try to hide. Even now, Mia is able to poison everyone's good mood. Don't worry about her. Surprisingly, my curt reply does nothing to dispel Claudia's concern or her curiosity. She's formulating her next thought. I cut her off before she can share it. Look, neither of us should waste a single moment thinking about Mia. She's gone, and she's not coming back. Gone. Yes, gone. I truly don't want her in my life. I'm feeling pretty stupid for not coming to that conclusion a long time ago. She's straight up bad news, and we're better off without her.
Well, it's almost like Goro is had our best interests in mind.
I know, right? Always bad news. It's an odd choice of words, and I'm not entirely sure what she means by it. Yeah, Mia has always been bad news.
You know, maybe that's why, Claudia Kira was, ready to send someone to Brazil. She was
ready to protect her human.
You don't think that she was going to Brazil Mia, do you?
I mean, it's not impossible. If she felt some reason like they were in danger of being threatened, whether it be by the fact that we have a feral in the closet or by just like the unwelcomed presence of someone who clearly upset her human, I think Claudia would kill for him.
Well, I agree. I also don't think that she would go out of her way to take Shimi in if she thought that Shimi was a threat to her in any way.
No, and perhaps not, but I think she wanted to be prepared nonetheless.
This is a kid. See, I see where you're coming from, but my initial reaction is I don't think she would do that though. But you know what? Let's read on and see where this goes.
I feel like I'm stating the obvious, but Claudia looks slightly frustrated by my response. Her great tail swishes back and forth, and she huffs unhappily at the phone on the table. Buried in my thoughts is a nagging question.
Wow, I haven't showed up in this story in a while.
Yeah. Buried in my thoughts is a nagging question. What was there between us? I know there was more than what Goro said, and more than just my ego being inflated that a gorgeous girl wanted to be with me. But what were the good things I saw in her, and when did all the bad start outweighing them? As I think about it, the only thing that comes to mind is the fact that she made things interesting. It wasn't necessarily that I liked how she did it, but as with Goro, things happened around her. Unlike Goro, I never trusted that Mia would help me if I was in trouble. But if that's all there was...
That's a bad attitude to have. And really maybe that's just me being overly naive. But I'm like, if you're going to get into a relationship, a long-term relationship, you should be kind of, assume that you're going to stick with someone for the long haul.
Yeah.
And if you don't expect your spouse or your long-term girlfriend, boyfriend to be able to, be with you through thick and thin, then that's really sad, honestly.
And also, like, why? Why are you with that person? Like, get it together, man.
Wow, Snek. I thought I was naive. Wow. I mean, I absolutely agree with you, though. I totally do.
Yeah.
Honestly, a lot of heartbreak happens because people don't consider that, especially romantic relationships, really should be about, forging a strong and lasting, bond. It shouldn't just be about frivolous things like, sexy times, shall we say.
Yes. But if that's all there was, why did the relationship go on so long? Why didn't I get out of it before she decided to walk out on her own?
That's a good question.
Claudia's been
We don't have enough context for that.
We really don't.
I mean, unless this is one of those, situations. God, I have amnesia.
Sometimes I'm not very bright, Mad.
I walked backwards into Goro, and now we have amnesia.
Of course I'm mad. She won't leave me alone. Every time I think I've forgotten about her, she texts me. It's like her leaving her shirt here. I bet she did that on purpose. 2 bags only. Wow, even Claudia.
Oh, no, not even.
Claudia's doing it now, too. MC, what have you done?
2 bags only.
2. Claudia says it as my mind makes the connection. It isn't coincidental that Mia was able to fit everything in 2 bags because she didn't take everything. What else of hers is...
Claudia. Even you only allow 2 bags. Claudia, no! Claudia, yes.
Oh, Pepper's rubbing off on her.
No. This is the thing. Claudia actually is far more calculating and far more lethal than we're being led to believe. She is the true serial killer.
Dang. What else of hers is squirreled away around here? Oh, that explains everything. Her fingernails were growing extra fast. She was ready for the bloodlust.
Oh, was this it? She was ready to do the deed, and then Mia just up and left, and now she's do with all this bloodlust.
The anger's coming from the realization of why Mia keeps texting. She never planned on leaving permanently. This was a drama, all part of the show. She's still waiting for me to call her and surrender. She figured I'd ask her to come back, say, "Look, Mia, you know I can't get rid of Claudia, but I don't want to lose you. How can we work this out?" And even though I didn't, the worst part is I probably would have. No, there's no probably. I would have taken whatever she dished out and accepted it just the way things were. But Goro brought Pepper here, and then Shimi showed up. I sure didn't think so at the time, but in retrospect, it's the best thing that could have happened. If I wasn't overwhelmed dealing with a house full of Nekos, I totally would have called Mia. Coming to grips with the truth causes my stomach to sour. On some level, I'm disgusted with myself. Without Pepper and Shimi, Mia would be here now, and like a doormat, I'd be doing everything I could to make it up to her. Even though I didn't do anything to apologize about. Bad news today, still connected. She says the word slowly. Her tone is sharp enough to sever me from the tangle of introspective thought. Still connected? Yeah, that's a weird thing for Claudia to ask me. Yeah, I mean, we were together for a while, so there's still a connection. Claudia scrunches up her face and looks away. After a moment, she turns back. Aloud. What do you mean? Not stopping it. Thank you, Claudia. We've been saying this for a while. Didn't I just explain this? I speak very deliberately. No, she isn't stopping it. I want her to stop it. I don't need to be getting messages from her anymore. Claudia sighs and nods. She takes the file from me and heads down the hall to put it back in the toolbox. I think I hear her mumble something like, "Not gone now," and "mean it." My sudden presence causes a few small birds who are hunting for bugs to flee, leaving me alone with my thoughts in the afternoon sun. It looks like I'm just going to have to deal with this problem my own way. Hey, look over here.
MC-kun, when did you get Killer Queen?
I was talking from Claudia's perspective, but okay.
Hey.
When I was younger, there were a few times
No. See, Claudia stand is going to be another Queen song there, Professor.
Oh, really? You think she's...
Death on Two Books.
Yeah, you know, that checks out. That actually does.
Yes, if anyone has any inklings in their mind or any confusion, I actually am quite the Queen fan. I know it's not really a hipster, inclination, but
sometimes
I
the
have been a
majority
Queen
can be
fan.
correct.
I have been a Queen fan actually basically since about the time that I met the professor here. So, yeah.
Yeah, same.
I think I actually got you into them.
You probably did. I know my sister was a big fan of the movie Wayne's World, which had Bohemian Rhapsody in it, but I wasn't cognizant of their broader library till you brought it to my attention.
Yes. So,
when I was younger, there were a few times I complained about stuff to Claudia, mostly about school or something that at the time I thought was important. A show I liked getting canceled or a stain ruining a favorite shirt. It's been a long time since I vented to her, and this is the first time it was about Mia. Bad news now. Still connected. Not stopping it. Despite the fact that Claudia...
Look over here.
Look over here. Despite the fact that Claudia has a habit of using as few words as possible when she speaks, she actually has a very diverse vocabulary. I remember when Claudia first learned to use human words, she tended to use too many. She would babble out long string of these impressively fancy words. Mama just cut her off once she had an idea of what Claudia was trying to say. Claudia was very impressionable as a kitten, figured out that it was better to use economy in her conversations. The flip side of that is sometimes what she was saying comes out vague, or the few words she chooses are an imperfect fit for her meaning. Still connected, not stopping it, mean it. Looking at Mia's most recent message, it slowly dawns on me that what I heard Claudia say wasn't what she was trying to say. Mia's message history tells me the rest. Of course, we're still connected, but only because Mia keeps messaging me, and every message she sends is bad news. She's not gone, not really. She never will be gone as long as I allow her to keep intruding into my life. Because I haven't severed the connection. I haven't stopped it. I pull up Mia's number. There's a moment of hesitation before I delete her contact information. Then I delete the pictures of us. Finally. Goodbye, Mia. I really do mean it now. I block her number. Finally! I think I might have loved her at one point, or felt what I thought love was. We all make mistakes. With Mia now gone from my phone and my life, I feel remarkably free. All it took was Claudia slapping some sense into me. Mia was a mistake. Another mistake was not listening to what Claudia has been telling me. She really does care about me. I wonder what else she's tried to say that I didn't take the time to hear. I have an itch to do something with her, which leads me to the logical question. What's a good activity we can do together? Pull out a board game? Maybe teach her a new game. A new game. That's not a terrible idea. Maybe a card game like Go Fish. I don't have a deck of cards. What do I have? In the cabinet behind several boxes of loose tea and a bag of coffee beans, I have that cookie tin. Whenever Mom goes on a business trip and stays in a hotel, she always brings back all the little bottles of shampoo and all the tea bags she can grab from the room. Mom doesn't drink much tea unless she's having cake, so the bags just go into that old cookie tin. I never touch them since I'm so used to buying and using loose tea when I make a pot. Popping the lid off of the tin, I grin at how clever I'm suddenly feeling. Meeting my expectations, it's filled with dozens of variously flavored, distinctly designed, and individually packaged tea bags. Claudia is sitting on her sofa. My absence from the backyard allowed the waiting birds to return. She watches intently as they flit and sing, scratching for worms and seeds. While her attention stays focused on the scene, her ears acknowledge me as I speak. Hey, Claus, I have an idea for a game we could play. The tin in my hand grabs her interest. Claudia's eyes excitedly watch the colorful packets of tea cascade from the large tin. I dump them into 2 piles, one for each of us. After picking up the few tea bags that fell onto the floor, I placed the now empty cookie tin between us. Here's what we'll do. I'll pick one of my tea bags, and we both have to find all the same kind that match it in our piles. Then you get a turn to pick a tea bag from your pile. Whoever runs out of tea bags first wins. I'm not sure if any of that made sense to Claudia, and the pessimistic little voice inside me insists I should put everything back in the kitchen before I embarrass both of us. Me with my dumb idea for a game, and Claudia who will follow my lame rules just to humor me. Not really game. And then there's that. Claudia's right, that this is more like sorting socks from the dryer. Not allowing the game to end before it begins, I start. Earl Grey, canary blue with a gray stripe. I hold up the tea bag. Claudia picks out several matching squares from her pile. I do the same for mine, and we stack them neatly into the big cookie tin. Now it's her turn. Hummingbird, pink and green. Ah, the ginger peach green tea. That's a pretty good flavor. We pick out several hummingbird-colored packets from our piles and neatly stack them in the cookie tin. I might have to make a pot of that later. Surprisingly, the game is working, and I'm feeling clever again. Claudia seems to be enjoying creating some order out of the chaos as she digs through the mess of tea packets, her long fingers delicately placing them neatly into the tin. She's my happy girl with the sparkle in her eye, glad to be lost in the moment as we play this silly non-game together. We smile and laugh as we match and stack packages of chamomile, oolong, Irish breakfast. Purple and lavender. Let's see, raspberry hibiscus. Ooh, I have lots of those. Peppermint. Really bulb.
What are your thoughts on tea there, Professor?
Broadly, like the tea most commonly found here in Sneckburg is just kind of this generic iced tea that I honestly don't really care for. But a few years ago, around Christmas time, there was this Christmas-themed peppermint tea, and that was outstandingly good tea. That I could down, all day, every day. It's like regular tea doesn't do it for me, but I guess maybe if it's like mixed with something, I can work with that.
The irony of the fact that I have some peach iced tea with me right here.
Nice. I pick whatever that one is. Sincha, Darjeeling, and others all stacked neatly into the cookie tin. Claudia's mood notably lightens as our game goes
Lordy. He's got Darjeeling. That's some like teach. That's some like tea snob shenaniganry. Hugum's sister Ichigo loves Darjeeling.
All right.
Yeah.
She does still seem like she has something on her mind, but again, I'm not sure if I'm imagining it. After all, I didn't get much sleep last night. I'm also not the cheeriest fellow at the moment, even after shedding myself with the emotional weight of Mia.
Wow. Well, oh my god, he's Mia, far.
Unexpectedly, Pepper lightly knocks on the door jamb and leans into the room. Wait, Pepper knocks? Hey, come here. She says in a hushed tone. My natural reaction is to excuse myself from the game and go take care of Pepper, but I don't want to. Claudia and I still have a few more rounds before the piles are gone. I'm pretty sure whatever Pepper wants can wait. Sashimi, strange. She's feral. Strange is baseline. Bite my tongue. I wanted to say, well, you know you're the strangest Neko there is. I turn my focus to the game, but Claudia's attention remains on Pepper. Wildcat Shimi. Yeah, less sashimi strange, more strange. Thinking about it, there's a noticeable lack of Pepper's normal bratitude. Before that can sink in, Claudia's already up to take a look at Shimi. I hurry to catch up. Well, Claudia may have been in a hurry to get to Shimi. She now stands at the edge of the living room, just watching and unsure of what to do. Pepper seems equally at a loss, observing from a distance for now. Like a concussed drunk that can't find her shoes, Shimi moves aimlessly around the living room. She stops by her stash, paws half-heartedly at the curtains, and then turns towards the window. Both of her ears seem to be searching for something outside. With each slow, deep breath, she sways. She's not sedated right now. Why is she acting like she just ate half a box of antihistamines? What if she did? There's some old prescriptions of Mia still in the bathroom. Shimi easily could have found them. The pills are colorful. Alarmed that Shimi might have poisoned herself, I start towards the bathroom. Claudia, sensing my panic change of mood, places her hands firmly on my arm, checking me mid-lunge and keeping me in place. Her voice is barely above a whisper. Don't want to. Following her gaze, I find that Shimi has also sensed my excitement and directed what little focus she has at me. It's bone-chillingly empty of emotion. As I keep still and relax, Shimi's focus fades, dissolving back into the nothing outside. Slowly and calmly, I make my way to the bathroom. It doesn't look like Shimi has gotten into anything that she shouldn't have. Nothing appears to be missing, and all the bottles of old pills are undisturbed. Quickly rifling through her nest in the closet reveals nothing but blankets and pillows. Back in the living room, the place is curiously absent of Neko's. A quick peek behind the curtain confirms that there is no medicine bottles in her stash. A canvas shopping bag, one of Claudia's scrunchies, a carving knife with a blue handle, and that can of crushed tomatoes again. I leave everything except the knife, which I drop off in the kitchen. Checking the box of antihistamines, it's also untouched. Alright, so she didn't medicate herself, but that only leaves one answer to the mystery of why she's acting the way she is. Claudia and Pepper have gotten Shimi to lay down on Claudia's sofa. Claudia's expression and tone leave no uncertainty. Shimi's sick. Serious. Claudia sits with Shimi while Pepper cleans up the tea game and I make broth. At one point, Shimi tried to get up, likely to head back to her closet. With soft humming and gentle hands, Claudia managed to lay her back down, keeping her in the sunroom. When it's ready, Pepper takes the antihistamine-flavored broth to Claudia, who feeds it to our feral. Once the sedating effects of the medicine secure Shimi in sleep, Claudia helps me change Shimi's bandages. Well, help is a rather generous term. Much like Claudia helping me cook, mostly she hands me the things I need. When changing bandages, since everything is practically at arm's length, there's not a lot for her to do. Still, I keep her involved, asking for her to hand me things even if they're right next to me. Shimi's sudden illness has Claudia distressed, and there is a way to ease some of her concern. More importantly, something about Claudia's presence kept Shimi calm earlier, and I want her here in case Shimi wakes back up. And honestly, Claudia's company keeps me calm too. We sit with Shimi until late in the evening. Even asleep, the zombie-like expression never leaves her face. Overburdened with grocery bags, fishing my house keys out of my pocket is near impossible. Juggling the bags back and forth in my hands, I stagger inside. Sometimes I wonder if it would be easier to move into the convenience store. Of course, then I have to deal with people wandering into my house and buying my stuff. And dealing with Lind all day, every day? No thanks. I'll pass. Like shooting monkeys in a barrel. My house keys.
I don't think that's what that expression is supposed to be.
I may have grown up in this house, but I'm still having trouble accepting that it's actually mine now. It's not that I'm not incredibly grateful to Mom for giving it to me, but it still feels like hers. Hers and Claudia's. Mom had to move away to do something. I can't remember what. Her job, remember, kiddo? Oh yeah, after all those years, Mom finally got the big promotion. She had to move to the city. Weird. Why would I forget that? Where is everyone? Could use help with the groceries. Honey, I'm home. I announce myself more as a joke than anything as I glide into the living room. There's no one around except the dead raven in the middle of the living room floor. It looks chewed up. Claudia? Pepper? Dead raven? That was the big condition I had to agree to before getting the house. I had to take care of Claudia, my Neko, my home. Mom made me promise. You bought a lot of cans of crushed tomatoes. Lots and lots. I may have overdone it with the shopping, but a big occasion calls for a big meal to celebrate. I thought you were going to the restaurant to celebrate. The Goro show. Don't think I've seen this episode. Wait, you aren't here. Oopsie poopsie. There's tickling, like from a watch. Ticking, like from a watch, coming from somewhere. Hey, a good show of gunfights.
Tickling coming from a watch.
Whoops.
The watch is inside the house.
A good show of gunfights, seeing people and monsters is coming on. One of those high dramas with lots of twists where unimportant stuff suddenly gets important. You'll watch it with me. Claudia doesn't like high drama stuff. Where is she? No, not a ticking, a scratching. The dead raven looks a lot larger than it did a moment ago. I don't think it's dead. It should be all chewed apart like that. What do you want me to do for it? Her, not it. I want you to save her. The raven holds one of her arms too closely to its body. Better hurry, she's coming. You know how she can be. Where is everyone? Claudia? Why is this place a mess? Everything's broken. The furniture, the door, the raven. A bird in hand is worth its weight in gold. Cradling the giant raven, its body shivers. If I call an ambulance, they'll just... Serious. Are you listening? Make sure you're really listening, kiddo. Serious, like sitting beside a dying fire. Its embers still sear, but its ferocity and ability to stay in the darkness is fading. As it looks longingly at me, another tear falls from the dead raven's one blue eye, leaving streaked trails through the caked blood on the side of its face. Waking up now. Nevermore. Not much longer. Waking up now, what will she see? Will she see you? Will she know me? Or will she see her as plain as can be? Me, myself, and I, scary strangers, these three. The scratching's getting louder. Hey, wake up! Hey, wake up! Let's go! Pepper emphasizes each word by pressing my nose like a button. What? What is it? Making noises. What's making noises? You! You woke me up because I was making noises? Yeah, creepy, deepy, noisy, sleepy. Oh. The splash of cold water rinses away the broken remnants of a bizarre dream. Pepper watches from the bathroom doorway. The tip of her tail periodically flicks back and forth in some annoyance that my morning brain can't connect to anything. She was still awake late last night when I finally went to bed. She's either been up all night or got less sleep than I did, but doesn't seem tired at all. Maybe she's onto something with all those naps. Seated on the floor and looking exhausted, Claudia gently strokes Shimi's head. She beckons me over. I hesitate as she places my hand on Shimi's large ear. See? Hot now. She's right. Shimi's ear is very warm. This isn't good, and Claudia can tell. The obvious concern is her tightly gripping one of her braids, waiting for me to do something to make it better. All I can come up with is, did she sleep through the night? Claudia nods. Okay, that's good. I think that's good. Not that I could do anything if she didn't. If she wakes up later, I'll make her some broth with some medicine in it. If. When she wakes up, we'll make her some broth. Needs more. I don't think Shimi needs more antihistamines right now. Claudia nods. I'm not sure I did anything to make her feel better. Make sure you're really listening now, kiddo. Spark of the weird dream intrudes, and I find myself wondering, was Claudia talking about the antihistamines or something else? Needs more. I run some cool water over a kitchen towel, wring it out, and hand it to Claudia. Put this on her forehead. It may help with the fever. As she does, I'm rewarded with a smile. Claudia tries and fails to hide a yawn, which in turn triggers my own. With Shimi on the couch, which is essentially Claudia's bed, she's been up all night. Hey, Claus, come here, please. She pauses a moment, not wanting to leave Shimi's side. I take Claudia's hand. Hesitation gives way, and she allows me to lead her from the sunroom. Listen, you did a great job with Shimi. Staying up all night with her wasn't easy. It's my turn now. You sleep, and I'll watch her. She looks back down the hall towards the sunroom and Shimi. Worried now. I promise, if I need anything, I'll come get you right away. For Reluctantly, Claudia nods. She waits a moment before releasing my hand and laying down. I close the curtain so she can get some sleep. Rest now. Shimi will be all right. She'll get better. I mean, she has to. You're the doctor, or the closest thing to a doctor I've got, anyway. Wow, it's so quiet. Claudia and Pepper sleep away the uneventful day, leaving me by myself alone. Well, nearly alone. I still have one annoying companion, this discomforting quiet. The silence, a stranger to this house, pulls me back to that already fleeting dream from last night. A menagerie of images and sounds hinting at some veiled message, although I wouldn't categorize it as a good one. Never thought I'd hear myself say this, but it's way too quiet in here. I decided to distract myself with a cup of tea, anything to get my mind off of things. I briefly remember telling Claudia I was going to make her some flavored tea before our game was interrupted, but I can't remember what kind it was. I feel kind of bad about that. As the water for tea heats, I take a look in on the sleeping wildcat. She's sweating. I can easily picture the bandage getting soaked, defeating the point of having it in the first place. I should change her bandages again. But she wakes up in the middle of it. Better wait for Claudia. Needs more. Claudia's concerns are infectious, and the worries echo, feeling the emptiness left by the uneasy quiet. The stillness seems to amplify them. I have no skills to treat someone who's sick. Later, when Pepper and Claudia appear, I'm grateful to have company again. Claudia seems in much better spirits after a long rest. The way she looks at me still makes me feel useless. Shimi. She's been sleeping all day. Sashimi cat, lazy brat, needs stop being sick. Fairly sure Pepper meant that to cheer up Claudia and me. It falls flat as a joke, but I have to agree with the sentiment. Come on, Shimi, stop being sick. I was thinking of waking her so we can give her broth and then maybe change her bandages. However, we need to take care of ourselves first. None of us have eaten all day, and my stomach has started rumbling. Cooking. I fall back on the one thing I know how to do. Claudia simply agrees, with a slight nod. Unfortunately, earlier I successfully distracted myself enough that I didn't plan anything for dinner. On hearing that, Claudia appears to want to be in two places at once. In the sunroom with Shimi and in the kitchen helping me. Seeing her conundrum, I offer, you can handle cooking if you want to be... I can handle cooking if you want to be with Shimi. No, wait now. Claudia ducks into the sunroom. Before I can try and decipher what I'm waiting for, Pepper steps close and speaks in a whisper. Hey, fix Claudia. I think you mean fix Shimi, and I already said that after dinner, I'm gonna change... No. Not sashimi. Claudia. Claudia sad. Duh. Sad. No, I think she's just worried about Shimi. Yeah, worried, and... Maybe it's a little blood sugar from lack of food, but I have no idea what she's trying to tell me. Pepper's expression hardens. You think there's something bothering Claudia, something besides Shimi? Pepper nods. What's bothering her? Fix it. An unexpectedly blunt rebuke from Pepper that doesn't answer my question. I shrug, missing whatever point she's trying to make. Claudia tells me when she needs something. If she's sad about something, she'll come to me when she's ready. So we might be on Claudia's route? Like, I don't know how we did that, but, you know, whatever. It's fine. It doesn't really matter what order we do them in. It's just not what I anticipated. When Claudia returns, Pepper heads into the living room, leaving us alone in the kitchen. I don't think Pepper gets it. Claudia's worried because Shimi is sick. If Shimi wasn't sick, Claudia wouldn't be worried. These aren't two separate problems, right? Crap, now I'm not so sure. Damn it, Pepper. I'm really not good at this stuff, trying to figure out what's on someone's mind. But I should have no problem talking with Claudia. I'm thinking of eggs for dinner, something easy. Omelets? What do you think? I watch to see if there's any kind of reaction from her, hoping to prove wrong Pepper's suggestion if there's any kind of problem beyond Shimi. Claudia doesn't respond the way I expect. She looks away, apparently unprepared to asking for her input on dinner. Seeing an opportunity, she replies. Her voice is soft, yet has no hesitation. Try. Her eyes meet mine, awaiting my reaction. Try. She wants to try cooking again. I know in my heart that letting a Neko cook is wrong. It's as wrong as dating Mia or having 3 Nekos. There's an argument to be made that since being wrong seems to be my default, you'd think I'd be getting better at it by now. Still. Oh no, you don't want to do that. That's time it didn't go well. While superficially true, it's a dumb thing to say, and it comes out much harsher than I intend. Claudia just lets out a small sigh and flatly nods. She accepts it as the inevitable outcome, and I find myself bothered that she gives up so fast. Fix it. You know what? They say you can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs. Come on, let's break some eggs. I mean, sure, I'll let you try to make the omelets. I might not be able to do anything about Sheeny being sick at the moment, but if I can, I might as well do something to distract Claudia from it. Not again, but again, Claudia's response is not what I'm expecting. She tilts her head and looks away, unsure how to say or afraid to say whatever it is she wants to tell me. Was there something different you want to make? With only the briefest pause, she nods, pulls a cookbook from the cabinet, and hands it to me. 2 pages are marked. Peas. I didn't know you'd been looking through this. Baked stuffed artichoke with aioli glazed carrots and smashed potatoes, pan-seared salmon with spinach and feta served over brown rice. Looks nice, like them. 2 big and very fancy meals. The photos in the cookbook are even impressive. Each one is time-consuming and have their own challenges, both need a decent amount of prep work. I try to hide my astonishment at her selections. Want to. You certainly set the bar high. Cooking either of these meals would be a big effort. It's not that I can't, it's just that they take preparation. Cooking them with Claudia would be an adventure. I'm not saying it would be a bad one, but regardless, the point's moot. Let's start with the omelets. Other than the rice and potatoes, we don't have any of the ingredients. Okay. Claudia smiles. I think she's aware that there's more to my saying no than just not having what we need from either recipe. Claudia isn't stupid. I'll put the cookbook back. You grab everything we need for omelets. I start with some basic instructions, doing my best to lift her mood. Then, just so she doesn't feel completely left out of the decision-making process, with peppers or without? Hey, Pepper, want omelet? I catch Pepper spying on us. I scrunch my face at her to shoo her away. No, we're talking about bell peppers, chopped up and cooked in the omelets, not pain-in-the-butt Neko pepper eating an omelet. Oh, peppers with please. Yes. Hooray, pepper omelet, awesome omelet. We can't help but grin at the sassy cat shenanigans. Pepper eat peppers. Claudia timidly jokes as she begins her second attempt at cooking. Eggs, cheese, tomatoes, bread, and the yellow bell peppers appear on the counter. She's watched me make omelets often enough that she helps me ease into the idea. It's not as if she doesn't know the difference between salt and sugar. Claudia pulls out a whisk, spatula, and the pan I'd normally use for eggs. Wait. I put the pan back and pull out a different one. It's a little bigger, which means the omelets come out flatter, but on the other hand, I should give her more room to work the eggs. Let's use this pan instead. Claudia opens the egg carton. I grease the pan and step back. She takes an egg in a deep breath, and then cracks the egg into the pan. As I expected, it's not a clean break, and small fragments of shell end up in the pan with the raw egg. I take out the largest piece. You don't want a crunchy-style omelet? Let's get that fixed. That would normally make her laugh. Claudia quietly picks the bits of shell out of the pan while I crack several more eggs into a bowl to help her out. Keeping it as simple as possible, I wipe my hands and put the tomatoes back. In fact, let's just make scrambled eggs. That way we can make one big batch and portion it out. This will be a lot easier than having to make several omelets. While she's still picking eggshell from the pan, I help her out and pop the bread into the toaster. Raw toast. I grimace at Pepper's creative use of language as I pour a little water into a glass. Here we go. Claudia picks the last of the eggshell from the pan and wipes her hands as I pour some water into the pan with the raw eggs. Taking the pan, I whisk up the mixture. Not too fast, not too slow. Claudia steps back as I move everything over to the stove. With the pan on the lit burner, things begin to fall into place. The kitchen is operating like a well-oiled machine. As hoped, cooking lightens the mood. I'm starting to breathe a bit easier, despite the shimmy situation. I'm also hungrier than I thought. The smell of cooking eggs and the delightful sizzle has my mouth watering. Salt at the end, eggs will bend. Salt at the start, eggs fall apart. That's true, as early salting makes them fluffier but harder to stick together. Since we're making scrambled eggs, we want the fluffy eggs falling apart, so we need to add the salt now. I didn't know that, I'll be honest. I realized that Claudia might appreciate me sharing this kind of knowledge with her. Instead of keeping my folksy wisdom in my head, I keep up the chatter. You know, if you put cheese on the toast and plate the scrambled eggs on top of it, it'd be like an open-faced egg sandwich. It feels kind of strange. I'm so used to cooking in silence, but I continue to ramble anyway. Maybe I'll slice that tomato as well. Then I can stack the toast, cheese, eggs, slices of tomato, and bell pepper. Much better than just scrambled eggs and bell peppers, right? Let's... The chime of the refrigerator door left open too long draws my attention. Pepper, the Neko, not the vegetable, is eyeing me from across the room. Who talking to?
Bell Pepper is eyeing me from across the room.
Looking around, only myself and Pepper are in the kitchen. Claudia's nowhere to be seen. It takes me a moment to react. Peering into the sunroom, Claudia sits, softly stroking Shimi's head. Pepper need work harder. With the slightest clue what Pepper's trying to say, I ignore her and finish making the eggs under her hard gaze. Claudia left. When the heck did she leave? The questions and annoyance draw attention to the uneasy quiet. Below the din of eggs frying, it seeps back into the house. Taking some of my frustration out on the over-scrambled eggs doesn't help to distract me from it. I bring Claudia a plate. She smiles gratefully, as if nothing at all happened in the kitchen, but as if she had not bailed in the middle of cooking. After we eat, we'll make some broth, then we'll make Shimi so she can eat. After that, we'll change her bandages, if you think that's a good idea. Mm-hmm. She quickly agrees, returning her focus to Shimi while she takes small bites of dinner. It's good. Pepper's waiting for me in the kitchen. I serve her some scrambled eggs. She takes the plate, but just stands there glowering. What? With a dramatic sigh, Pepper and her plate head to the table. Everything the Nekos do recently leaves me baffled. I'm feeling very alone at the moment. I'm feeling dumb, as if I should understand what Claudia did, and why Pepper thinks something other than Shimi being sick is bothering Claudia. I assemble an open-faced sandwich from the prepared ingredients and join Pepper at the table. For a moment, I just stare at my food. I'm tired, and once again my appetite is gone, even though the only thing I've had in the last 24 hours is a cup of tea. I slowly pick up my food, not even tasting the small bites as they go down. Pepper takes a big bite. Good food, good eat. Pepper, help make a tree. We both know you didn't help make this. Yellow pepper and eggs help, duh. And yeah, winner, winner, chicken skinner. Pepper, winner, help make dinner. Whatever tease Pepper's working successfully gets under my skin. She probably doesn't deserve it, but maybe she does. I put my spork down and quietly vent frustration at her. Have you ever cooked anything? I'm going to bet the answer is no, and I'm going to say that you'd be hard-pressed to find the Neko that has. And I did not see Pepper step in at any time to help, so why are you saying you helped? What? Claudia cook, you help? Pepper whispers her question through a genuine look of confusion. Maybe she did get brain damage from the bathtub cannonball. That's right, until she left in the middle of it. Yep, well, help, not help. Help, not? Oh, crap. It hits me. Pepper makes me realize why Claudia left. My help didn't help. I wasn't supervising. I was micromanaging. I only wanted to help her, but I ended up completely taking over. Duh. Duh is right. I went into expecting her to fail. That's why I kept lowering expectations and giving her less and less to do. I didn't trust her. Instead of watching her closely, I completely took things away from her because Nekos don't cook. And then I didn't even realize she left. What's worse, the way she left. Like, she expected it to not work from the start. How could she hope to accomplish anything when both of us were against her? Maybe I'm the one with brain damage. Rightfully feeling like a disappointment to Claudia and to myself, I quietly confess, I'm not good at this. Pepper just chews and watches as I speak. Mia made all the decisions. Before that, Goro did, or Mom. I just always went along with them. Claudia, not Mia. I know. Claudia, not a mom. Not Goro, too. I know. I can't believe I'm being schooled by Pepper the Neko, or that the lesson I'm getting is better advice than I give myself. Decisions... What decision Claudia's? What? Seeing my confusion at her question, Pepper picks up the slice of yellow pepper, puts the whole thing in her mouth, and over-dramatically looks around the room. Still chewing, her eyes return to me. Mom decision, Mia decision, Goro decision, you decision. What decision Claudia make? None. She doesn't make decisions. But I mean, what kind of decision would Claudia make? She's a Neko. I have no immediate reply for Pepper, and instead defeatedly pick up my dinner. Faced with the realization that Claudia's role is a lot closer to Mia's vision of a cat girl maid and less of a member of the family, the way I saw in my head, is humbling. She really is a second-class citizen around here, as much as I'd like to pretend she isn't. I always went along with whatever Mom or Mia or Goro decided. Claudia goes along with whatever I decide. It's not an excuse, it's a realization. Claudia has no voice around here. Even worse, she's accepted that as her life. Damn it. She wants to cook. I have no idea why she wants to cook, but she does. If her mind can learn any aspect of cooking, Claudia needs to be able to try and fail in a safe environment. That's the only way it'll happen.
She wants to help you.
Yeah.
And honestly, she's probably been fascinated by it for years. Just,
Almost certainly.
no one's letting her.
Yeah. What you gonna do? What am I gonna do? We make broth, and then Claudia wakes Shimi and feeds it to her. While it's helping, I stay out of the way to help keep Shimi calm. When Shimi falls back asleep with the aid of the antihistamines, we again change her bandages. Hot now. Beads of sweat collect on Shimi's pale cheeks. Her breathing is rapid and shallow. Yeah, she definitely has a fever. Bad fever. She's soaking wet with sweat. Needs more. We just gave her antihistamines. I'm about to say as much, but something stays the words. You need to really listen now, kiddo. I know I don't fully understand Claudia. Sometimes when I look at her, I see a girl whose happiness is infectious. Someone who makes the most of the very basics that life has to offer. Right now, though, I only see concern in her eyes. The same concern that kept her awake all night sitting by Shimi's side. I'm not sure it's possible for me to ever truly understand her. But I want to. I have to try. Claudia?
The sense I get from her is that Claudia is a very responsible young lady, and she was molded as such by MC Mom.
Yeah.
And that's probably the reason why she wants to cook, because she knows that MC Kun's kind of a shitty cook.
I mean, he seems to be decent at it, but the dude's so far in his own head, he seems to make a lot of boneheaded mistakes along the way.
Oh no, MC, oh no, Mia, you only have 2 whole bags. Oh.
And then the kitchen was on fire.
Oh no, what did I do?
I was hoping I'd never have to dial this number. The idea of even admitting to a stranger that I have a Neko is bad enough. Admitting that I have a sick one is a whole nother level. The nickname Sawbones isn't exactly the most reassuring one, but like Claudia said, Shami needs more. More than just trying to distract us from facing the problem. More than being a coward. The phone rings, my stomach clenches as I pray that I'm not sent to voicemail. There's an answer on the other end. I'm happy with my current phone provider. No, nothing has been hacked. I don't need life insurance. My car's extended warranty is fine, and I gave at the office. I rock back into my heels and quickly stammer. I have a Neko, a sick one. He says nothing. As a long pause becomes longer, I start to ramble to fill the empty space. This isn't a scam or prank call. A friend gave me your number. The pause continues, then. Neko, eh? What, you get it pregnant? No! Wow, relax, that was a joke. You do know you can't impregnate a Neko, right? Not that you should be trying, but I'm not here to judge. This phone call is not going how I expected.
Wait, hold on. That's not what they taught us in sexual education.
Kept off balance by his quick speech pattern and blunt questions. Alright, go ahead. This is the part where you elaborate on 6. It can be a lot of stuff. She was getting better and now she's not. I sound like an idiot. You still haven't told me anything. She's sneezing, throwing up, she fell down and broke her crown, swallowed a spider that wriggled and jiggled and tickled inside her. Sharpness in Sawbone's tone as he worried
Wow,
that he's not in her.
Wow, that's a deep cut in terms of nursery rhymes.
The sharpness in Sawbones' tone as he worried that he's not interested in helping at all and is about to hang up. If she swallowed a horse, she's dead, of course. She hurt her arm and her tail, but that's not why I'm calling. She's getting better, but then she started acting strange, and now she defines strange. Sawbones' tone, suddenly, you're missing a D here, small typo here, gang. She's just confused, disoriented. When? When did she start acting like this? Day ago, maybe 2. Someone asks a flurry of questions about Shimi's condition, as if a different person is on the other end of the phone now, a serious person who's demanding details I don't have. I answer the best I can. What's it doing right now? She's been asleep all day, most of yesterday. He gets my address and tells me to come by this evening. It's going to be expensive. It's minimum for me to show up and have a look. If she's in bad shape, it'll be more. Have cash. Stay away from it till I get there. He hangs up. Best smile I can fake. The only thing I can say to Claudia is, a doctor is coming tonight. Claudia gives me a smile, which I'm certain is as fake as mine. Good. Neither the call nor running my hand through her hair has done anything to quell my anxiety. I just wish it was Goro on the way over. The doorbell momentarily stops my heart. It's the same every time. This is stupid. It's Sawbones. That should relax me, but really all I want to do is disconnect the doorbell so I never have to hear it ring again. That wouldn't change anything. Deep down I know someone knocking would put me into the same emotional tailspin the doorbell does. Bro, you need to relax. And that's coming from someone who's anxious as a cat myself. I try to shake off my anxiety and focus on Shimi. The man standing at my door is here to help her. Are you the guy? The guy with the Nekos? Yeah, that's me. Guy with the Nekos. Did you just say Nekos? As in plural? Crap. Once again, I feel my weight shift to my heels. With everything that's been going on, somehow I actually forgot how weird my situation is. Plural is in more than one, because most people have none. Sawbones looks past me into the house. Doesn't look like he wants to come any further inside. My hesitation isn't helping. I blurt out the words. I have 3 Nekos. I immediately cringe at hearing them. Neko guy, world champ. The look he gives me would be more fitting if I had just said something disparaging about his mother. Through a long, doubtful glare, Sawbones laughs. He gives me a playful slap on the shoulder. 3 Nekos, sure you do, and I'm the queen of Shiba.
You know what? This guy is a Shadowrun NPC.
He basically is. You got the cash? I cringe again as Sawbones steps deeper inside the house and stops abruptly. His expression drops upon seeing Claudia and Pepper. He almost drops his bag, too. Nekos. Plural. I have to give Claudia credit, even with the worry she feels over Shimi and the new experience of having this brash stranger in her home. She's still able to offer Sawbones a polite smile. Pepper scowls, her narrowed eyes examine Sawbones up and down, apparently not being very impressed with what she sees. She lets out a displeased-sounding huff. Sawbones enjoys the scene and laughs and hooks a thumb at himself. Long live the queen! Here you are too. You really do have a third one around here, don't you? Long story. We appreciate you coming. Here's the money you wanted. It really isn't a long story. I just want to move past this part as quickly as possible. Hand him a lot of bills that I grabbed earlier from the stash in my bedroom. Sawbones laughs again as he counts the money. Plural, isn't several. I wouldn't have believed it if you told me. Actually, you did tell me, and I still don't believe it. I can explain this. I'm sure you believe that. Hey! Pepper impatiently hooks a thumb towards the sunroom. Fix sashimi, let's go! She's back here. We lead Sawbones to the sunroom and nervously crowd the doorway. You move slowly, cautiously. The antihistamines have been keeping her calm, just regular over-the-counter stuff, 1 or 2 a day. Sawbones nods and pulls a large syringe from his coat. He then gently touches Shimi's foot and waits. After a moment of nothing happening, he recaps the syringe and returns it to his pocket. We're giving them to her crushed up in her food. The last dose was a few hours ago. He turns out to say something, but instead pauses as his eyes land on Claudia and I are holding hands. It just happened. I didn't even realize that we were doing it until just this moment. And now this stranger is watching the Neko guy holding hands with a cat girl from his harem. I guess we'll save, even though both of them are kind of dismissive response. You know what? I don't care what this guy thinks.
I don't care what this guy thinks.
My initial reaction is...
He's just an NPC.
Bro's just a Shadowrunner doctor. Like, he's not the boss of me. My initial reaction is to release Claudia's
I can go hold hands with my sister be-sitter.
Find some flimsy excuse, let go, and act like it wasn't a big deal. Instead, I give a gentle squeeze. Claudia's been really worried. Sawbones says nothing and just goes back to examining Shimi and checking her vitals. I'm still talking, the words come too easily. Claudia's been really valuable in helping take care of Shimi. In fact, I don't think I would have noticed that Shimi was sick enough to call you if it wasn't for her. After every sentence I say, there's a pause where I expect Sawbones to say something. He doesn't. I mean, I knew that Shimi was injured, but I don't think I really got how bad she was, that she got sick. Without Claudia's attention, I'm sure Shimi would be much worse off. Claudia stayed by her side. She's been remarkable. I continue to ramble until I feel nails dig into my hand. Too much now. At first I think Claudia's telling me I should stop talking. Then I realize I've been squeezing her hand tighter and tighter this whole time. Sorry. I loosen my grip, but don't let go. I also make myself shut up. It's not worth trying to explain to anyone anyway. After his initial examination, Sabon stands and does nothing. He takes a long time just seeming to contemplate the state of our Shimi, deciding on what to do next or maybe walking through some procedure in his head. Hey, doctor time, let's go, fix sashimi! Pepper refocuses Sawbones, causing him to chuckle at her impatience. Yes, it's time to play doctor. Don't worry, saving a damsel in distress is a required skill for this job. I'll do my best. There's something about his smile and the way he speaks that dripped thick with a kind of superficial appeasement, a practiced detachment used to mollify a worried family, all the while keeping expectations low. A mannerism that I can only imagine is the first thing taught at medical school. If Goro and his years of constant pranks hadn't trained me to look for ulterior motives in people, I think I'd be reassured by his casual smile and the pleasant tone of his words. If you don't mind, this cat and I need a little privacy. We give Sabins and Shimi's illness a chance to get better acquainted. Three of us sit quietly, our living room feeling like a hospital waiting room. I'm instantly brought back to that day of Dad's accident, sitting with Mom, fighting back tears, until finally they came to get us so we could say goodbye to him. Time drags, and the silence grows. Finally, Sawbones appears to the doorway. He gestures to the sunroom. Mind are we talking here? Shimi, naked now, lies flat on her stomach with her head turned away. Her breathing is slow, deep, and steady. All of her bandages have been removed. Sawbones frowns. Sushi here. Shimi. Sure, whatever. Your cat isn't in good shape. Then quickly his frown becomes a smile. But she isn't in terrible shape either. She's in a Goldilocks zone. Not too bad, not too good. What does that mean? It means she's just the right amount of sick where it could go either way. If she was any worse, I'd recommend putting her down. Seems to purposely give me a moment to let the dread sink in before casually shrugging. But she isn't, so I don't. Now he's also put me into a Goldilocks zone.
See, here's the thing. We're not in her route, so now, she's
not
going to be
so
okay.
Bad. Yeah, now it's not as terrible. Yeah, somehow we ended up in Claudia's, even though all our choices have been reflective of Pepper, so I wonder if there's some prompt along the way where we jump tracks. I'd be curious to know what's going on under the hood. Not too worried, not too relieved. Just the right amount of anxiety. His bedside manner could use some work. Her tail has to go. I take it back. His bedside manner could use a lot of work. He says it like he's talking about a bad toenail. Seeing my reaction, Sabins lays his case before I can protest. It's the source of the problem. It's a much greater risk of the infection potentially moving to her heart or other organs if we leave it on. We have to remove it so the rest of her body can heal. Her tail? And isn't that like surgery? Sawbones beams at me in pleasant condescension. Makes me feel as if I was a simpleton who managed to get the square peg into the square hole. I almost expect him to pat me on the head and feed me a treat from his pocket. Yes, caudectomy, tail amputation, is a type of surgery. He holds his thumb and finger up with a small space between them. Just a little one, not like cutting off an arm or a leg. It's quick and necessary in this case, and what you already paid me will cover it. He waves me to him. Here, come help. Don't worry, she's well sedated. Help! He was serious about we! I'm not ready for this.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this! Sawbones has me hold Shimi's tail with a part of her in my hands. I feel both connected to Shimi and far away from her, like standing on a shore holding a rope that's keeping Shimi from floating away. He lays down absorbent pads and attaches a screw clamp just above the injury, talking the whole time while he works. But look who I'm talking to, the guy with the Nekos, plural. I can't imagine there's much that worries you. Everything worries me, but suddenly I can't think of anything beyond Shimi's long and slender tail. He quickly shaves a strip of her...
Everything worries me! I'm very worried!
I mean, it's kind of true, though. He quickly shaves a strip of her hair off and her tail right below the clamp. Nekos are loners. Their pheromones act as a kind of feedback loop, or so I've been told. It's the reason why Nekos naturally move apart in the wild. They're like the same polarities of magnets. Sawbones swabs the shaved strip with a brown fluid. Wisps of antiseptic smells like a hospital, artificial and slightly bittersweet, tickle my sinus. The small room begins to feel smaller. He gives an animated shrug. At least that's what happens with the military-trained ferals. Maybe it's different with domesticated ones. Still, it's actually impressive that you have 3 Nekos. You could sell tickets to this. Sawbones fills a small syringe from an equally small bottle, and he makes several injections into Shimi's tail, below the clamp and above the injury. I'm not not sure just holding Shimi's tail is much help, but it's effectively keeping me as his captive audience while he works and talks. If I could come up with any excuse not to be here, even a lame one, I would. I can't. I'm strangely hypnotized. There's something you need to be aware of and be worried about. Most of the time when Nekos get really sick or old, they just die. Like people. They have some type of organ failure, heart attack, aneurysm, die in their sleep. The quick, casual movements that only come with years of practiced repetition. Sawbones opens a sealed plastic packet and pulls out a pair of heavy-duty scissors with inward curving blades. But because Nekos aren't human, sometimes they do not go gentle into that good night. Sometimes it gets ugly as they regress to their primal instinct. The scissors are beefier than the kitchen shears I used to cut through chicken, bones and all. He used the fingers and thumb on his free hand to locate the space between the two of the vertebrae of the shaved strip of Shimi's tail. Sometimes they rage against the dying of the light. My hands tighten as Sawbones lines up the curved blades of his heavy-duty scissors on Shimi's tail. My stomach painfully contracts to the size of a small stone. This is really happening. He's gonna cut off the tail. The crazed Neko can cause a lot of damage. That's why in the olden days I used to mark Hic sunt monstra on maps to show Neko territory. Here there be monsters. I have to look away as the blades bite into her flesh. I realize I've been holding my breath. It's also the reason why when a feral gets hit by a car, it gets put down. Sawbones forcefully squeezes the scissors as he says, down. Shimi's tail twitches in my hands for the final time as the sharp blades bite through the muscles, nerves, and tendons with a crunching, gristly snap. The scent of blood and medicine is heavy in the air. There's a thick, coppery taste in my mouth that my rational mind tells me I'm only imagining. I'm trying to believe it. Shimi doesn't react at all. I feel lightheaded as the long part of her tail comes away from her body. Disconnected, I hold it limp and slack in my hands. I'm an astronaut on a spacewalk who's tethered to the ship just snapped. It's not Shimi floating away, but me. I sway, punch drunk, as Sawbones pulls off his gloves and produces an orange trash bag from somewhere. He holds it open for me to deposit Shimi's tail. I feel as if I'm falling, as if the weight of Shimi's tail off-balances me and pulls me into the bag also. It happens much less often with a trained or domesticated Neko, but it happens. Thought swims through my head, something to ground myself and break the spell of what I'm witnessing. Should I have mentioned that Shimi is a feral? Probably. Oh well, too late now. Oopsie poopsie. Nobody tries to save them because it ends in tears and blood and stitches. Or worse. Worse than tears, blood, and stitches? Sawbones coldly meets my eye with his for the first time since we went to work on Shimi's tail. I place an antibiotic implant inside the wound. It will slowly dissolve and should take care of everything. He quickly stitches the stub where Shimi's tail now abruptly ends. She'll get better, or she'll get worse. Definitely one of those two. He applies a bandage, and unscrews and removes the clamp. If she gets worse, if the antibiotics in her system can't handle the infection, she'll need stronger medicines, stuff made specifically for our Felis sapiens friend. Those are harder to get. Translation, expensive. Now finished wrapping the stub of her tail, he retrieves something from his coat pocket. Sawbones examines the thing in his hand for a long moment. Then he looks at me for a longer moment before handing me the object. But realistically, if it comes to that, she'll only need this. Confused, I stare at the large capped syringe Sawbones placed in my hand, the one he had when he first came into the sunroom. This is... mercy. Mercy. Death. If she gets aggressive... Sawbones doesn't finish the thought. The tone of the room changes as the harsh reality of what I'm holding fully hits me. If she gets aggressive, you have to kill her. After detailing how to care for Shimi...
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Oh, I'm sorry. This is... that bit was, evaded the censors. If she gets violent, then she has to move to Brazil.
I understand.
I get it now. After detailing how to care for Shimi following her tiny bit of surgery, Goro Shitty Medical Guy, Her Majesty, the Queen of Sheba, again emphasizes the damage that Shimi could do if her condition gets worse. That's funny.
I'm glad to know that MC still has his sass, even calling his own name.
Oh, of course. I understand the risks. I'm sure you believe that. He pauses for what feels like an exceptionally long time. Then he speaks slowly and quietly, this time sounding like a concerned friend. Just don't take any chances. Cemeteries are full of people that understood the risks. He holds my attention with his expression and longer pause. Then, if she does end up getting aggressive and you're not able to safely inject her, lock yourself and your cat girls in your bedroom and call the cops. It'll be messier that way, but at least you won't hurt anyone. Then packs up everything, including the orange trash bag with Shimi's tail. Sawbone sincerely wishes me luck and leaves. Pepper satisfies her curiosity by peeking in on Shimi, nods in approval at me, and then heads to bed. Claudia takes the baby wipes from Goro's medical bag and uses this opportunity to give Shimi a quick bath. Maybe it's out of habit, but I keep talking in that low, calming drone. I've never seen a Neko with no tail. Has still. Short now. True, just seems extreme that he chopped it off as quick as he did. The ghost of Shimi's tail twitches in my hands, causing a small shudder up my spine. I reflexively rub my hands on my shirt. Just hope that guy was right, and this is the best thing to help her get better. We're gonna take good care of her,
now.
aren't we, Claus? Yeah, has more now. Lots and lots. She agrees with an earnest, although tired, smile. After Claudia finishes cleaning up Shimi, she drapes a blanket over the feral. I'm ready for bed. Claudia seems more reluctant. You should go to sleep now. I'm just going to decompress a little, then I'll turn in too. Claudia looks as tired as I feel.
Turn into what?
I'll turn into Kamen Rider Stronger!
Not Kamen Rider Katbuto?
You know, no, the Catman Rider is not out of the question. Claudia
Comment down below what Kamen Rider you mentioned.
Claudia looks as tired as I feel, but still resists. We'll stay. Want to. I know you want to. You've been super helpful caring for your Neko. Mine. Claudia gets very serious and appears able to resist my idea. I drop the punchline. Do you have another Neko around here that I haven't met yet? Or we can always make Pepper your Neko instead. She realizes I'm only teasing about owning Shimi, and we share a grin. Seriously though, you need to rest. You both do, so we can be helpful caring for our Neko tomorrow. Come on, bedtime. I lead her out of the sunroom. Unenthusiastically, Claudia relents and does as I say. Before she goes, she gives me a hug. Stress has been carrying for so long, it had become part of me, melts away in a warm embrace. When she releases me, I feel lighter, as though the worry and anxiety were physical things that Claudia took from me. For Shimi. And then, it's just me and Shimi. She seems deep in a dream. I feel like I'm in one too. Holding the syringe of cold mercy, I watch the near-tailless feral sleep. Traces of anxiety threaten to return and again inflict me with their weighty worries. Please get better, Shimi. Claudia is already fast asleep. Not surprising given how tired she looked. These past few days have taken a lot out of her, out of us both. I put the syringe in the drawer next to the bed and bury it under a couple socks. I should just let Claudia have my bed and go sleep on the living room sofa, but this should be fine for tonight. Exhausted, I lie down next to her. My weight shifts the mattress. Claudia briefly opens her eyes, even in the darkness to capture the dim moonlight with their deep jade glint. She closes them, drifting back into slumber with a sigh. Then as I settle, Claudia rolls over and cuddles onto me, her head on my shoulder, her arm on my chest, her thigh on my leg. The unexpected intimacy puts me on edge. It instantly reminds me of that time I woke up with her in my bed, back when I was still in school, still living at home with Mom and Claudia. I don't know how long she'd been lying with me or how long we'd been spooning, or when my hand wrapped around her landed on her soft breast. I hadn't even had a girlfriend yet.
My.
He's not here to have a Goro rub this in his face. He's just going to reflect on his own.
Hey, chicka bum bum.
I hadn't even had a girlfriend yet. No social life to speak of, other than the cooking club. There were a few. There were a few.
Are we really gonna be? Just admit?
Oh man, she was my first.
I mean,
my first was my adoptive cat girl sister.
I think that's what MC is saying. I think that's what he's saying, yes. There were a few cute girls in school whom I'm pretty sure would have gone out with me if I had asked. I mean, looking back, they were flirty, and 2 of them always wanted to pair up with me for projects in the cooking club, or at least that's how I remember it. Regardless, I just didn't have any interest at the time in letting someone get to know me in that way. Ever since Dad died, I just found it easier not to be close with anyone like that. Waking up that morning with Claudia, her back against my chest, her warm body pressed against mine, it felt so exciting. The closeness aroused something in me that had been dormant, a connection to another that I didn't know I was missing. And her pressed against me had other arousing effects beyond my control, effects which Claudia didn't seem to mind. Whoa, dude. I don't know. Again, we don't fully know the details about human-Neko relations in this world, only that MC-kun has told us that they are frowned upon, so shrug. She seemed to be enjoying my body against hers and all that entailed just as much as I was. Here we are again, the firm and soft parts of her on me, my hand stroking the smooth skin of her arm. Spooning leads to forking. No, Goro, this is not like that. Although it could easily be seen that way.
Sure.
It's more simple than that, though.
Sure, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. Just I'm saying, you know.
I relax into Claudia's embrace, accepting and returning the affection. She lets out another deep sigh and slides her long leg even further around mine. As I feel myself drift away, the truth is easy to accept. I could use some comfort, too. Because you're erotic and...
Okay, I'll stop.
I wake to a copious mouthful of golden blonde hair. Pulling my head away, freeze the long strands and they fall away. Claudia's ear twitches, but she stays asleep. I must have been really exhausted. It feels like I just closed my eyes, but the daylight streams through the window, confirms that I actually slept through the whole night. No tossing and turning, no bad dreams, no weird headaches when I wake up, nothing but a great night's sleep. It's been a while since I had one of those. Finding out something so simple as a good night's sleep can settle so much inside you. I wouldn't know. With a smile and a stretch, I carefully extract myself from Claudia's warm and comfortable embrace.
Oh.
Out back, I spy Pepper playing bounce with herself. She doesn't appear to be enjoying it as much solo as when she does with me. Nice still little bounce and a picnic. Seeing me, Pepper skips over to the back door. Before she says anything, I put my finger to my lips. Shh. Good morning, Shimi. At least I don't have to worry about waking you up. Shimi groggily turns her head, meeting my gaze. The hard, animalistic stare beneath that haze of illness makes me recall Sawbone's warning. For a long moment, Pepper's eyes linger coolly on Shimi. There will need to be extra care around her until she recovers, or some words to that effect. And we definitely will, but I'm sure she'll recover fine. Good morning, Pepper. I'll make us breakfast. Nekos want noodles! Noodles? For breakfast? Doodle strudel, kick caboodles, make 'em bake 'em, let's go noodles! I'm not sure how to respond to her sass. I blink a few times and reply, I was gonna make pancakes. Oh yeah, pancake not dumb, Pepper want pancake, yum! I see you're in a good mood today. Having quickly abandoned her firm insistence on the noodle idea, Pepper gives me a coy smile. Let's talk more pancake. You talked me into it, but first, coffee. Ah, a man after my own heart.
I was about to say, oh geez, me a far.
Shaku, it's 7 o'clock.
Yeah, that's why I'm drinking coffee. In the evening? And?
This is 7 p.m. coffee. It comes after 6 p.m. coffee, which comes after 5 p.m. coffee.
You're about to go to sleep. No, I am not.
I assure you, I am not.
I am so sorry, Ditaku.
I'm not. I'm having coffee.
I have not a single regret in my entire life. Nard is
Or
holding
regrets.
fist of the North Star. Yes, I am. Sip.
I do it a lot. You would know that if you have watched Tomo Bros podcast.
Seriously. Short time later, Pepper and a plate stacked with hot, syrupy pancakes head out into the backyard. They bring Bobtail Shimi her breakfast, a bowl of antihistamine-flavored broth. Hey, Wildcat, got something yummy here. Something tasty that'll help you rest. I say in my typical low, calming voice. Shimi likely doesn't need the antihistamine to sleep, but better safe than sorry. As I get closer, her eye focuses hard on me, and her breathing becomes markedly deeper. Her behavior is so different than even just a few days ago. She seems more tense when I approach, and I find her glare to be especially wild. Suppose it should be expected. Somebody had cut off one of my body parts. I'd probably be nervous around them for a while, too. I pause and consider waiting for her to fall
OMG, what happened to my tail?
Pause and consider waiting for her to fall asleep, and then leaving the bowl nearby or waiting for Claudia to help me. Shimi catches a whiff of the broth's enticing aroma. Her manner starts to alter. The change from quasi-predatorial and wounded feral to a softer Shimi who wants the meal in my hands is a process of sorts. It takes time for her to find her way out of the foggy mire of her illness. You can do it. And she's Shimi again, beaten and burdened, rough and ruffled, weak and wary, but definitely Shimi. That's right, it's just me. Gonna give you something to eat and then leave you alone. At least she has her appetite. Still trying to keep some distance, I squat down close enough to be able to feed her. Shimi stays on her side, protective of her recent surgery. Easy now, don't strain, just relax. Here you go, Shimi. And for what it's worth, I'm sorry about the tail. Shimi drinks her broth. I look up to see Claudia. Our eyes meet, and she smiles at me. Seeing her is a sudden sense of deja vu. My mind hunts to find the missing piece. Oh, I realize why this feels so strangely reminiscent for me. We've done this before. Sort of. Claudia, where'd you go? We were both very young at the time. It wasn't all that long after Claudia came to live with us, but long enough for her to feel like this was her home. Claudia was constantly attached to Mom's hip, so we hadn't spent any time together yet, beyond sitting at the table for meals. I got sick. I don't remember much about it, other than it kept me in bed for about a week. I do remember that Claudia would come visit me. What are you doing, sweetie? You don't want to be there. Come away now and let him rest. When our eyes met, she smiled at me. That was the first time I ever saw Claudia smile. I think she visited me every day. Every time she would come a little further into my room. What, you want to bring this in? You're the sweetest little lady. At least once Mom sent her in with soup. Here you go, don't spill it. Just put it on the table next to his bed and then come back. I think
Do you ever get the sense that she actually is much smarter than people are giving her credit for?
that's the impression I get, because he even mentioned that, like, she learned a very extensive vocabulary very rapidly, which indicates she picks up on stuff probably better than people give her credit for. I think that mostly she came in on her own, to check on me, to hold my hand and be with me. I smile. Good morning. Shimi seems to have had a good night. She's almost done with breakfast. I say in my quiet, keep Shimi calm voice. And I made blueberry pancakes. There's a plate for you. Claudia nods and disappears after a pause. Sounds in the kitchen indicate she's cleaning up my mess from making pancakes. I turn my attention to Shimi, who seems much calmer after some broth and seeing Claudia. She takes another sip. I keep speaking in that low drone. It's strange. I keep remembering moments from our past. Claudia and I have a lot of history together. She's probably the closest I was going to say person. Why does that sound weird? Because people would say she isn't a person, she's a Neko. But of course a Neko can also be a person. They aren't mutually exclusive, right? Most people would take issue with that point of view, but most people think a microwaved hot dog is food. Irrefutable evidence that most people's opinions are trash. I smirk at
All right,
how clever
Professor,
I am.
we need to weigh in on the microwave hot dog, food or not?
It's food, but it's not like gourmet cuisine by any stretch. I mean, like, technically, no, some boiled water and instant noodles is technically food. But, MC is also, seems to be a little bit of a cooking snob, so he's probably just like, those simpletons. He's even smirking at how clever he is. OMG, literally me, FR.
You just need to have, this Smugs. You need to get Smug Snek or
But it's true, Shimi. Claudia is the closest person I have in my life. Laurel's gone, Mia's gone. The closest friend I have in the world right now is Claudia. Hearing myself whisper the words, I feel like that should really depress me. It doesn't. She's always been there for me. I feel very lucky to have her. I suppose we both are. You may not realize this, Shimi, but I'm one of those guys who has Nekos, plural. In fact, you're one of them. You won't tell anyone that I'm the Neko guy, will you? All my secrets are safe with Shimi. She's very docile, focusing her energy on the bowl. She pays me little attention as she takes another sip of broth. Speaking of secrets, I've been looking for a way to show Claudia that I appreciate her. Any ideas? Of course, Shimi offers none, not that I expected she would. Instead, her eyes close, and only her ears languidly follow my quiet, lullaby-like monologue. I ordered some plants from her, something different, vegetables. Will she like them? Will we even be able to get them to produce anything? Shimi finished most of the broth before dozing off. As I lean away, Shimi reacts. It's a small, quick movement that ends with her hand around my wrist. I nearly drop the bowl as the hot wash of adrenaline floods my back teeth. But the rush of fear fades. My body relaxes. I know there's no malice or intended harm behind her action. It was a reflex from my movement. The expression in her soft, half-closed eye is more pleading than demanding. Yeah, I'll sit with you. But her hand falls away, and she drifts off to sleep. Claudia's already finished her breakfast by the time I get to mine. Afterwards, I find her in Shimi's closet. Clean now. You decided to clean Shimi's closet? The closet's still a mess, so I infer Claudia saying she's about to clean it. I ask, just to make sure. Claudia pauses, as if maybe I disapprove of what she's doing. I brighten my expression and reassure her. That's a great idea. I'm about to head off to do something else and leave Claudia to deal with the Pharaoh's nest, but at the last minute I change my mind and stay with her. Together we crowd into the closet. First things first, we pull all the blankets and pillows into the hallway. They'll get a much-needed wash once we finish straightening up. Surprisingly, it smells a lot less ripe in here than I expected. It's definitely a smell of Shimi, musky aroma of a body that spent a lot of time in the woods. But it's not stinky or gamey in an offensive way. Guess I'm used to her. That or something about it has pleasant to the nose. It's almost like the smell of ozone that signals the coming of a storm. Look! In the back of the closet, one of my old boxes has been opened. The tape has been neatly sliced, likely by a certain feral's fingernail, and the contents have been gone through. Exploring, apparently. The top of the box is some sweaters and a sweater vest that I haven't worn in forever. Below them is a shoebox full of memories, some art that I made as a kid, a report card from grade school, and old photos that Mom printed out at some point. There are a few more recent ones of me, but most of these are from ages ago, including a bunch of Claudia as a kitten. Claudia pulls out an old photo of her in the garden. She's next to a giant sunflower, as tall as she is. Her smile is huge, both in the photo and here in the closet as she admires it. Wow, that was a big sunflower. Giant one. Claudia pulls out more photos. This one. Remember. Oh yeah, that's you as your sprouting marigold plant. Photo of an amazing kitten holding a cup of soil. Tiny green sprout peeks out from the brown dirt. Mom wrote a poem on the back of the photo. Marigolds bloom but a season, a short while it deems for you and me, so quick it feels without reason, not time enough it seems. Yet what are we to the tree? Our shortened seasons are the reason to beam, to do and live our dreams. So bud and bloom, my beautiful flower, today and always, for you and for me. Mom wanted Claudia to revel in life, to really enjoy every aspect of it. Well, as much as a domesticated Neko is able to. Not an easy thing to want, as Mom had lost her spark in her own enjoyment of life with the loss of Dad. I know, because I did too. Claudia lightly touches the image of a small green shoot peeking over the edge of the cup, held in the hands of a kitten whose expression is nothing short of wonderment. Mom had you grow it from a seed. Yeah, water and sun. And love. She pulls out another photo. This time the marigold is full grown and ready to be planted in the garden. A proud kitten sits at the bundle of red, orange, and gold flowers. Died after. Claudia's smile falters. It takes a second for me to realize Claudia was talking about the marigold dying. Yeah, marigolds are annuals. It means they just live for one season. I don't know how much about plants, but I know this. Her smile returns with a note of curiosity. Made tea. That's right. Mom used the dried flowers to make marigold tea. It comes back to Claudia's eyes as she admires the photograph. Mom had done the same with me, growing a seed in a cup, planting it in the garden, using the dried flowers in a way that made a tea that was safe to drink. That's where Claudia came to live with us, and when Dad was still here. For me, the lesson Mom wanted to teach was forgotten with the loss of Dad. But for Claudia, growing that seed was a magical event. It was the start of what would grow to be Claudia's love of plants, tea, and tending to the garden. That's also around the time that Mom decided to go back to work. You miss Mom? Yeah, it's okay. You now. Wow, I'm unprepared for that. There's something comforting about the way she says it that keeps away any worry about Mom's impending visit. Me? I don't think my company can compare to that of Mom's. Claudia and Mom are always together, in the garden, in the kitchen, sharing chores. At best, I've always been like a quiet but useful roommate. Still, Claudia just smiles at me. Throughout the day, Claudia and I took turns sitting with Shimi. She has short spells when she is not Shimi. It's when the fever spikes and she doesn't seem to recognize anything. Claudia makes both of us move away from her when she gets that empty look. At other times, she is Shimi, just listless and exhausted. Sometimes her eyes and ears and eye completely focus in the windows, like she's listening to something very far away. You feed her broth and some solid foods, too. It's the same the next day, and the day after that. Regardless of her state, she always seems calmer with Claudia nearby. I don't know the reason behind it, they just have some kind of connection. Even asleep, Shimi seems to be able to feel when Claudia is there. Pepper mostly stays out of the way, only occasionally sticking her head in to see how things are going. Otherwise, she keeps herself occupied calculating in another room or out in the garden. You both know that I owe her a bounce, but she hasn't pestered me about it. Shimi doesn't need the bandages anymore. We can unwrap her tail. I'm not entirely certain about the bandages, but that's what Sawbones told me. Also, acting like I know what I'm talking about seems to reassure Claudia. She rubs Shimi's ear. New beginning. Soon now. New beginning. Let's hope so. It's up to Shimi now. Her brain gingerly began to accept reports from the nerve ending in her body, checking in with various limbs and organs to see how things were going. The feedback was deeply unpleasant enough that it quickly shut down again, and darkness rushed in. And that's where we'll be stopping for this fine evening.
Goodness gracious.
No, this is interesting. Well, once again, I did not mean to sidestep onto Claudia's story, but we are going to see it through to the end. I promise we will do all 3 endings, including Pepper's, once I figure out how I ended up changing tracks midway, or if Claudia and Pepper's endings are somehow linked, which is also possible. So thank you, Ditaku, for joining me, as always.
My pleasure. This is fun.
No, I really, really enjoy this game, and now that we are like 150 hours in, I'm sure you people at home are getting the same impression. Let us know what you think in the comments down below, and we will see you next time.